the Competition Analysis Series. This time as we introduce our 35 SR3 to the 3.5-ton class mini shovel market. We look to see how it performs and how capable it is by comparing it with our 4 major competitors' products. The Komatsu PC35MR, the PC30 MR2, the Yanmar VO35, the Kubota U35, and the Hitachi's Axis 35U. Here we will look at the results. First of all, the machines are spin-turned to compare their driving force. On a dry concrete road surface, the machines make a 360-degree turn clockwise in second gear at full throttle. First, we'll compare the Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi machines. None has an automatic shift 2-step motor. The Yanmar is slower than the other two, probably due to less driving force. The Kubota takes 14.2 seconds to finish the spin turn, Hitachi 16.4 seconds, and Yanmar 19.9 seconds. Now let's see how Kobelco compares with Komatsu. Despite Komatsu having an automatic shift 2-step motor, it doesn't turn smoothly, possibly because it is not well balanced. The Kobelco takes 12.4 seconds, and the Komatsu 18.7 seconds. Let's compare the results for all of the machines. Next, we check the traveling vibrations that can greatly affect riding comfort by placing a water-filled bucket on the cab floor. On a flat concrete road surface, we rolled the vehicle straight in second gear at full throttle and check the vibrations by looking at the water in the bucket. First, let's compare the Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi. As you can see, they vibrate more or less the same. Next, we compared Kobelco and Komatsu. As you can see, the Kobelco vibrates about the same as the Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi, while the Komatsu vibrates less. Next, let's compare dozing operation. The operation is leveling the surface of subsoil dirt by scraping. Please pay particular attention to the formation and movement of the dirt as dozing progresses. First, let's compare Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi. As the machines advance, the piles of dirt in front break and overflow, leaving behind dirt outflow. Now Kobelco versus Komatsu. As you can clearly see, the Kobelco neatly pushes the dirt forward without breaking the pile. In contrast, the Komatsu breaks the pile of dirt, leaving behind ridges of outflow. We also checked the maximum height the dozer could be lifted off the ground. Let's look at the difference. A higher dozer is more capable of dozing and can easily ride over mounds. Next, let's see how different the machines are in excavating performance. The excavating site is subsoil with fine gravel. Each vehicle repeats a cycle of starting excavation on a go signal, then turning 45 degrees to the right to move the dirt. The time taken to complete 5 cycles is measured. This compares the machine's power, speed, and smoothness. First, let's see how the Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi compare. Hitachi is from a little to about half a cycle faster than the others. The Hitachi took 37.9 seconds, Yanmar 40.4, and Kubota 42.6. Now Kobelco versus Komatsu. The comparison includes the Komatsu 30 MR2, one class lower, just for reference. Although it has a smaller bucket capacity and engine power than the Kobelco 35 SR3, and cannot be directly compared. The Kobelco took 33.8 seconds, one full cycle ahead of the Komatsu. The Komatsu 35MR and 30MR2 took 39.6 and 41.5 seconds, respectively. The results are as you see here. The ease of getting in and out of the cab and floor foot space were also evaluated. Here, let's compare the Kobelco with the Komatsu, which has the largest floor space. The Kobelco and Komatsu are superposed on screen for easier comparison. The Komatsu's floor appears a little wider than the Kobelco's, but they are nearly equal lengthwise. The Kobelco is among the top of the machines in its class, with a roomy cab and large enough floor space to ensure easy getting on and off. Next, night visibility at work was checked. The Komatsu and Kubota both have only one working lamp on the boom. The Kobelco, Yanmar, and Hitachi are all equipped with 2 lamps. Let's see the difference from the front. The Yanmar with 2 lamps provides the brightest light, followed by the Hitachi, which also has 2 lamps, and the Kubota. Now Kobelco versus Komatsu. The Kobelco's headlamps have the largest lighting range and offer high average illuminance to ensure that work can be safely performed at night. Let's now compare the easiness for rental shops of daily checks and maintenance. First, let's see how easy it is to make a ground level check, refuel the machine, and check the hour meter. First, the fill opening. It is low down on the Kubota, Hitachi, and Yanmar. Now Kobelco versus Komatsu. Komatsu has it at the highest level and in an inconvenient position. Now let's check the hour meter. The Yanmar requires getting in the cab. For the Kubota and Hitachi, it requires turning the ignition on. The Komatsu is just like the Yanmar. It is only the Kobelco that lets the hour meter be checked outside of the cab. A comparison was also made of the engine compartment. These 3 machines show no difference in the convenience of checking and supplying oil. On the Kubota and Hitachi, the fuel filter and water separator are not in the engine compartment. In the case of Kubota, the parts cannot be checked without removing 4 bolts from the left rear cover. Hitachi has the parts under the fuel tank. Now Kobelco versus Komatsu. Komatsu has no air filter in the engine compartment. Next, the position of the fuel tank drain cock. Yanmar, Kubota, and Hitachi have it in these respective positions. Kobelco and Komatsu have it in these positions. Kobelco's unique quick coupler facilitates oil change, enabling the engine oil to be easily drained. Now let's compare the positions of the multi-control and control valve. On the Hitachi and Kubota, the multi-control is located in the front of the right guard. Yanmar has it under the floor. Kubota has the control valve located in the front of the right guard. Yanmar and Hitachi have it under the operator's seat. Kobelco enables the multi-control and N&B selector to be easily accessed when the daily maintenance cover is opened. With the full open guard fully opened, not only can the control valve be serviced, the radiator and parts around it can be easily cleaned and the radiator filled with water. Komatsu has both the multi-selector and control valve under the floor. Before concluding this comparison of maintainability, the operator seat lift-up system, called a tilt-up floor, that Komatsu adopted for its new model, was evaluated. This tilt-up system allows the floor to be opened after removing 6 rear counterweight holding bolts. Although we think it facilitates checking and servicing of the engine and neighboring parts, it still seems difficult to service the control valve, swing motor, and so on, located in the back. Now let's compare the removability of the canopy between Kobelco and Komatsu. Kobelco has 3 struts secured to the upper frame, with 9 bolts in total. The canopy weighs about 72 kilograms, a weight that can be handled by 2 or 3 persons. In contrast, the Komatsu canopy is held with 8 bolts in total, attached to the rear counterweight. The Komatsu canopy weighs about 110 kilograms and cannot be handled unless it is supported by a crane. Even 4 persons are not enough to lift it off. Now let's look at how long it takes to wash the undercarriage. The new X-type truck frame that Komatsu has adopted for its mini shovel is said to be easily cleared of mud, so it does not take long to wash. Let's compare the Kobelco 35SR with the Komatsu MR2 in this respect. The machines are washed under the same conditions, with the same flow rate and water pressure. The outside of the crawler frame shows little difference. Let's wash just the right side of the lower frame. From here, we'll speed up the picture to 4 times normal. Little difference is seen, yet the Komatsu looks good just because of its design. As you have seen, the Kobelco 35SR favorably compares with our competitors' machines in more than 10 different points, offering the dependable basic performance of a top-class shovel. Kobelco will continue actively carrying out research and development to create promising new products at the forefront of the industry.